Hello and welcome to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. Hope everybody's having a great Monday morning out there. We have lots to cover in this video here regarding severe weather this week. Also some heavier and steady soaking rains across portions of the upper Midwest down through Missouri Valley. And then here looking ahead to the Memorial Day weekend into early June's weather pattern as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I do encourage you guys to subscribe to my channel as I'm trying to get up to around 100 subscribers or thereabout. And that is my goal here through this week. Also, do like my video, give me a nice thumbs up here after the video is over, and also here leave any of your comments and questions below as I'll be able to answer those here as well. So looking here at the upper air kind of map of the vorticity signature here across the United States, we have a little bit of a trough across the Intermountain West here with some ridging, some broad ridging across portions of the east. We do have some warmer weather across portions here of the East Coast with a cold front ahead of that. A cold front, we have a lot of heating of the day. And then behind that here with that shortwave trough, we do have a lot of cooler weather. And that will kind of continue as we head towards the middle of this week, where that trough will start to amplify even further and push down toward the Four Corners into portions of the central and southern plains. Ahead of that trough, we are going to see some here, destabilization, some instability growing, convective available potential energy here on the rise, and that will lead to some thunderstorms and maybe even some severe weather as this bowling ball looking trough starts to push across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas here as we head toward Wednesday time frame as well, with ridging starting to become more established here across the southwest United States here as we head toward late this week. So kind of looking at what we're seeing for today, we got dew points rising into the upper 50s, lower 60s across much of Texas into southeastern Oklahoma, Louisiana, southwestern portions there of Arkansas. And as we head into our Tuesday tomorrow, we got a lot of moisture return off the western Gulf of Mexico all the way up into the lower Missouri Valley here from Cape Girardeau on over toward Joplin, Missouri, even up towards central Missouri there toward the Springfield area, and then near St. Louis with dew points up into the upper 50s, low 60s. And further to the south, here's some richer moisture into portions of northeast Texas around the Texarkana area, Dallas, Fort Worth, and then getting over toward Shreveport here in the upper 60s to around 70-degree dew points here, and then coastal Texas down through portions of coastal Louisiana around the New Orleans region, Corpus Christi, getting up toward Houston, low to mid 70 dew points can be expected there. And then that'll continue to surge up to the north here across portions of Illinois, eastern Iowa, far southern Wisconsin, Indiana, and then portions here of Missouri and Kentucky as well, the Tennessee River Valley into the deep south. We have a lot of moisture return off the Gulf as we head through this week here, and that will lead to some rain chances here as far north as the Midwest, the Missouri Valley, the Ohio Valley, and much of really the eastern half of the country through this week. So let's kind of time this out here. This is kind of the reflectivity of what the radar could look like as we head into Tuesday afternoon. We got a lot of rainfall here with a rain shield from western Iowa back into portions here of Nebraska, eastern Kansas, getting down into Oklahoma here, and in portions of eastern Texas. And this will continue to lift up to the north. A lot of soaking rainfall across portions here of Illinois into Iowa, getting down to the Missouri Valley here toward the Ozarks region, and then getting down here into the Texas area, Oklahoma, and portions there of Arkansas as well, with some severe weather that'll be mixed in here as well through those areas. But generally through the next 72 hours here, this really goes all the way through Thursday, May 26th here in the morning hours. You really can expect a steady soaking rainfall across portions of the Midwest, getting into the Missouri Valley and portions of the central and southern plains, and kind of on the order, of a half inch to upwards of an inch of rainfall can be expected, especially centered on southern Wisconsin, much of east central Iowa, and much of Missouri here. Some heavier amounts where the heavier thunderstorms and that stronger severe weather will be into Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and maybe even to Oklahoma, where they could, be picking up anywhere from 2 to as much as 4+ inches of rainfall down in those areas here. Dallas, Fort Worth, on over towards Shreveport, Little Rock, and then getting down to the Texarkana region. Maybe some heavier rainfall up near Wichita, and then getting down toward Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma here as well. And this will go all the way through Thursday morning here of this week. So some pretty heavy rainfall. And then this kind of extends farther to the east toward the Carolinas, the Tennessee Valley here into northern Georgia. Could still see a couple more inches of rainfall across these areas as well, with some tropical moisture pushing off of the northern Gulf as we head through that time frame here as well. Well, looking at the severe weather side of things, we do have a lot of instability, some convective available potential energy really starting to grow across portions of the panhandle of Texas down into south central and west Texas here as we head through this afternoon. And what that has yielded is the Storm Prediction Center's day one categorical outlook. They have included a level 2, a slight risk of severe weather here across portions of west central and southern Texas here, and even a smaller portion here of southeastern and far eastern New Mexico as well. This does include Lubbock, Texas, down toward Midland, and then getting down toward the Fort Stockton, Texas area, over towards San Antonio, maybe the Austin area, and then getting up toward here, portions of the Texas Hill Country here. And then we do have a marginal risk that extends further to the north here into portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle, the northern Texas Panhandle, and the portions here near the Dallas-Fort Worth area, getting down just west of Houston toward the Corpus Christi, and then another marginal risk here farther to the east of the Carolinas here, including Columbia, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and then getting up toward Raleigh, North Carolina here, and near and maybe just south of the Atlanta metro area into portions of Macon, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, those type of areas here as we head through the day today. So let's kind of look at the composite reflectivity of how this will work out. We got some storms starting to bubble up across west central Texas as we head through the day today. Also the stronger weather across portions of the Carolinas into Georgia here with some stronger storms possible. But we'll really have some robust development here start to really take place across west Texas as we head into this evening. And then after dinner, we might have these kind of line segments or bowing segments here. And that's where we really could start to see that damaging wind risk here with winds in excess of 60 or 70 miles per hour cannot be ruled out across portions of south central Texas. Also some stronger weather up toward the panhandle in that marginal risk zone. Some elevated hailers potentially here with some small to medium size hail here, some pocket change hail as they call it across these areas. And then like I said, some elevated storm activity across portions there of the Carolinas down through Georgia here. That'll start to wane as the instability starts to here kind of back off as we head into the evening. But really, we're going to start to see some pretty decent, returns of some rainfall as well. In addition to the severe weather, a lot of heavy rainfall with all the moisture pooling up ahead of this cold frontal boundary. In the short wave, we're going to have a lot of moisture available with these storms. And then as we head into tomorrow here, this is for Tuesday, and we do have a lot more instability to work with across portions here of Texas, down into South Texas, Louisiana, and that is why the Storm Prediction Center has issued another slight risk of severe weather, this time including the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, getting down toward the Austin area here, and then a marginal risk all the way up to the south end there of the Oklahoma City metro, including Lawton, Fort Sill, and then getting down toward the Moore, Oklahoma areas, near Wichita Falls, and then getting down here into portions of San Antonio here as well as we head into our Tuesday tomorrow. And this will be, another rendition of the same kind of setup as we have today. We got a lot of moisture, we got a lot of instability with those CAPE values growing into the 3,000, plus range across Texas. And as we head to late Tuesday afternoon, well, storms will really start to be firing up across portions of Texas on up into southern and central portions there of Oklahoma. And this will really start to develop into kind of a line segment with some bowing structures in there, with some surges of wind pushing to the east across the Red River here from Oklahoma into Texas, maybe even some more line segments down toward the Houston area, Corpus Christi, and then some elevated storms here kind of back toward the Lubbock area, Fort Stockton, back into West Texas as well. This will all congeal into kind of a squall line or a bow echo as we head into portions of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, getting down here into portions of central Texas as we head after dinner tomorrow. And this will really congeal into kind of an upscale growing MCS or mesoscale convective system across these areas here as we head towards the overnight hours on Tuesday tomorrow. And this will kind of the damaging wind and hail risk will be the main threats with this, although a tornado cannot be ruled out here today or on Tuesday, so do have to watch that. And then as we head into Wednesday, the middle of the week, we got instability growing all the way up into the Ohio Valley here, into the Tennessee Valley, and then down through portions here of Louisiana and into coastal Texas. And that is why the Storm Prediction Center on their Day 3 categorical outlook has included a marginal risk for portions of east central Illinois up into portions there of Indiana, southwestern and western Ohio, getting down through the Tennessee River Valley through, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then portions there of Alabama, much of Mississippi, including the Jackson, Mississippi area toward Tupelo, and then that slight risk zone across coastal Texas with the continuation of that southeastward moving squall line, if you will, or MCS here through these areas areas, mesoscale convective system as we head through the coastal Texas region, southwestern Louisiana as we head towards, the Wednesday afternoon and evening time period. So do want to watch some severe weather there as well, including Houston, getting up here towards, the Alexandria, Louisiana type of area as well. Really, in general here, the next 7 days, all the way through really the end portion here of the month of May here, going right up to Memorial Day here itself, we are expecting a lot of rainfall across portions here, the middle of the country, eastern portions of the country, really centered on Texas into portions of the deep south and Tennessee Valley here, where we could have several inches of rainfall on the order of 2 to 4+ inches here, especially where we have the training convection, where we have thunderstorms moving over the same areas. That is called training, and that is what here that could occur across portions of the deep south here, the Gulf Coast states, and a portion of the Tennessee Valley. Also, with that heavier rainfall up into the upper Midwest here in the Missouri Valley here, some decent rainfall returns are expected there as well. And unfortunately, for areas across the four corners into the southwestern United States, California, Nevada, Utah, down through portions of Arizona and portions of Colorado and New Mexico, not really seeing much in the way of rainfall here all the way through the rest of the month of May. So the wildfire concerns there will continue. The drought will continue to worsen here, unfortunately, across those areas. But we are hoping to get some monsoon weather here pretty soon. So we'll hold on to hope for that. In general here, as we head toward the end of the month here, the last weekend of May, we are going to see a lot of ridging start to build back in, with a lot of warmer temperatures behind that shortwave trough I was showing you, moving through the Texas region and through portions of the deep south as we head through the middle of the week. And that will only continue as we head to next weekend here towards the Memorial Day weekend. We got a lot of warm air starting to push into the middle of the country, with that ridge becoming more established. And then that'll continue with kind of more zonal flow, if you will, across portions of much of the country here as we head in toward next Sunday. And that will bring in some warmer weather. And then as we head into the Memorial Day itself, and this next Monday, we do have another shortwave trough that'll be coming into the Pacific Northwest and the Intermountain West. And then that'll start to amplify that ridge even further across the eastern 2/3 of the country or so, and that will really send some warm temperatures up into portions of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, with some cooler than average temperatures probably expected across the Pacific Northwest into portions of the northwestern plains as well. And that'll continue to amplify this ridge even further as we head into early next week, as we kind of open the first day or so of June. So that'll here be something to watch here moving forward, with potentially some more severe weather setting up somewhere across the middle of the country as we head toward Memorial Day itself, or a couple days after Memorial Day, the 31st into the first day or so of June. So we'll have to be here watching that as it gets closer. But in general, with all the warmer temperatures, with that ridge starting to become more established, with that shortwave trough coming down here from the Pacific Northwest and amplifying that ridge even further, we got a lot of 80s, some 90s, even some low 100s being shown across portions of the panhandle of Texas, eastern New Mexico. We even got some low to mid 90s into western portions there of Kansas, and that'll continue to build to the east and move eastward here as we head into the Memorial Day weekend itself. On Saturday, May 28th, we could have temperatures in the lower 80s across northern Illinois, much of Iowa, getting into portions there of Nebraska, even some lower 90s across southern Nebraska, and then you got those low 100s across portions of West Texas into eastern New Mexico, where we could be talking about 101 degrees around the Lubbock area, 102 down toward Fort Stockton here, and then maybe some mid 90s for the Albuquerque area as we head towards Saturday. And this will continue to expand as we head toward Memorial Day itself here on that Sunday, May 29th, and then even that Monday here, Memorial Day itself. A lot of warm temperatures pushing to the east here, with a lot of low 100s being shown. Dallas, Fort Worth in the low to mid 90s, just to your west here in the portions of Amarillo, down toward portions of San Antonio, maybe even portions there, Lubbock, Midland, some upper 90s, low 100s can be expected here. And even over toward the Phoenix area, we got a lot of low 100s across those areas as well, as we are really starting to heat things up as we head into next week. Also here on the regards to if the Gulf of Mexico will be open here for moisture, we will have a lot of moisture return as we head toward the weekend here next weekend, and that will continue to surge all the way up into the upper Midwest and the northern plains as we head into Sunday, the 29th, and that'll continue continue to surge into Memorial Day itself with all those 80s here, with the dew points well into the 60s, low 70s. Could probably be expecting some heat index values into the 90s, all the way up here into portions of the Mississippi Valley, the Great Lakes, and into the Midwest here as we head to that time period, with some drier dew points across, those drier locales down here into portions, of New Mexico, West Texas, and the portions there of Utah and Arizona here, with those wildfire concerns, that drought continuing across these areas as we head toward Memorial Day as well. But looking in general here, this is the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day temperature probability kind of outlook to show you the probability of, if it'll be above average, normal, or below average. We are expecting, the Climate Prediction Center is expecting well above average temperatures here across portions of the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, and really back into portions of the Central and Southern Plains. And with that trough coming in, with that big trough toward the end of the month here toward Memorial Day, we got cooler than average temperatures likely across the Pacific Northwest, the Northern Plains, and maybe some warmer temperatures across California here as well. And that'll kind of signify more of an active pattern across the Northern Plains, the Central Plains, and up toward the Great Lakes region, especially up in, Wisconsin, northern portions there of Michigan. And getting back into Minnesota, Iowa, can expect some, slightly above average precipitation going through the opening day or so of June, Wednesday, June 1st. And then under that ridge can expect kind of more of the southern stream, jet stream is not very active this time of year. So kind of, lower than average precipitation can be expected across the desert Southwest, the Four Corners, and into portions of the Tennessee Valley and Northeast as we head into that time frame as well. And then looking even further, all the way up to 14 days, all the way through Sunday, June 5th, we can expect warmer than normal conditions across really the eastern 2/3 of the country, or eastern half of the country, if you will, with a cooler than average conditions expected across the Northern Plains, into the Intermountain West there, into portions of the Pacific Northwest around the Seattle area, Portland, Oregon, and then getting over toward, Helena, Montana. Those areas here can be expecting cooler than normal conditions, if you will, across all the way through June 5th. But then a pretty active pattern does ensue as we head into the first week or so of June, where we do have a lot of heat building in. Could have some more thunderstorm activity across the middle of the country as we head into that time frame. We'll have to watch that. And then the experimental week 3 and 4 temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. This goes all the way from June 4th through June 17th. Through the majority of June, can be expecting above average temperatures across the eastern 2/3 of the country and the southern 2/3 of the country here as well. Really centered on New Mexico and Texas here, and really specifically into West Texas here, with above normal temperatures, and then that below normal temperature probability across portions of the Pacific Northwest, kind of centered on Seattle and Portland, Oregon here as we head through June as well. And then we do have that active pattern here. The Climate Prediction Center is expecting kind of below average temperature anomalies, or below average precipitation anomalies rather, across portions of the Central Plains through the lower Missouri Valley into the Tennessee Valley, and then back westward here into the Intermountain West and the Southwest as well. It does show a little bit of some promise for some monsoon weather to return across portions of southeastern Arizona, southwestern New Mexico. So we do hope for those areas to get some more decent rainfall potential here heading through June with the monsoon season. Also, we got to watch the tropics across portions of the Gulf Coast into the southeast, with Florida above average precipitation here through June. That could mean some tropical activity across those areas, with tropical depressions, storms, and even hurricanes we got to watch. And then the northern stream, jet stream, is going to really start to become active as we head toward especially the middle and late portion of June. We got to watch here for some windstorms across these areas, with a lot of storms kind of riding around the ridge of high pressure across the middle of the country, especially middle and late June across the Northern Plains, the Great Lakes into the Northeast, and even the Mid-Atlantic here. We do have to watch for that, as we could have a lot of complexes of thunderstorms originating across the Northern Plains and kind of diving east-southeastward into the Great Lakes, the northern portions of the Midwest, and then into portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast as we head toward the end of June. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that was helpful and very informative for you. Do be sure to like my video, give me a thumbs up, and leave any comments and questions below. And also remember to subscribe to my channel here, as I will have forecast content all week long covering the severe weather and here the warm-up coming up toward the Memorial Day weekend. So I hope everybody has a great Monday out there, and have a good one.